Right, okay, so we're going to have a look here at some keyword transformations from the Use of English exam. So we're looking at C1 Advanced. We know that in keyword transformations, it is necessary to use from 3 to 6 words, okay? The word that they give us in bold that we have to use, we can't change that word. And we're going to rewrite this first sentence in the second sentence here. And in the gap, obviously, these are where we're going to write our 3 to 6 words. So we're going to go through these exercises here and see if we can write down some answers. Okay, so let's have a look and see what happens with 25. As long as you explain the process clearly at the conference, your boss will be pleased. Okay, so it's worth looking and see what we can sort of say, well, we don't need to write about this. So for example, here, your boss will be pleased. We have here the process at the conference. We can see here, we don't need to talk about that, but we do need to talk about here, this first part, as long as you explain, and then we've got the adverb here clearly. This is obviously what we're going to write here. The verb we're going to use here is give. And maybe from the verb explain here in the first sentence, we could use the noun explanation, which would fit well with the collocation with give an explanation. Okay, so let's write down an answer here. So if you give, right, okay, so the other word we had to think about was clearly. Okay, so we've got to make sure that we include something about that. So maybe, again, from the adverb, we could use the adjective. If you give a clear explanation, that's spelled explanation properly. If you give a clear explanation of the process at the conference, your boss will be pleased. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we've got 6 words, which fits in with what we're allowed to write. Okay. Okay, let's move on to 26. Let's see what happens here. They say that a visitor to the National Art Gallery damaged an 18th century painting. Okay, so here we've got the word alleged. Okay, again, if we look at the bottom, we can see what is going to be necessary, what we already have written at top and bottom. So 18th century painting we have here, a visitor to the National Gallery, we also have that. Something about damaged, obviously we're going to have to write about, and something about a visitor and they say, okay? So very common in sort of C1 Advanced are passive sentences, okay? And if you look here, we've either got a verb here that we could use in the passive, so verb to be plus the past participle, or either it could also be an in the verb in the perfect, okay, present perfect or past perfect or future perfect, okay? But I would suggest here that perhaps we'll be looking at some form of passive sentence, okay? So a visitor to the National Gallery is alleged, okay, because it says here they say, so that gives us present tense. Now, we're talking about something that happened in the past. Okay, so is alleged to have damaged an 18th century painting. Okay, if you're not too sure about these sorts of things, definitely have a look at passive structures. Okay, and specifically look at passive structures with things like thought, it is believed, those kinds of verb structures, and using these sort of verb structures where we're referring to things in the past. Okay, which is why we've got this structure here that refers back to the damage of this painting here. Okay, okay, let's look at the 27. Okay, I really don't mind whether Jill chooses to come on holiday with us or not. Okay, so again, looking quickly, what do we need to sort of write? What do we already have written? We can see here whether Jill chooses to come on holiday with us or not. We've got that here. It's only really at the beginning. I really don't mind. Okay, so some sort of expression here about sort of decisions and things like that with difference. So it really, let's just write here, it really makes no difference to me whether. Okay, and that would definitely give this idea of I really don't mind. Okay.